Good evening, everyone. Today I'm reading The Terrible, Wild, Grey, Hairy Thing. I just read it and it's funny. Goody was making sausages. She worked until there was a great pile of them. She made long fat sausages and long lean sausages, tubby ballooning sausages and tidgy-widgy skinny ones, and a few family-sized sausages that were bigger than big. Goody made enough sausages to feed her family all winter. Then she climbed up onto the kitchen table, stretching and wobbling on tiptoes. She began to hang the sausages from the nails above her head. Bunches of them dangled down like giant spiked posies. Goldie's face was damp and flushed as she reached up to hang the biggest sausage. She teetered and tottered while her fat baby plodded around the kitchen floor and right over the cat. "Arr!" The cat screeched and fled, Whisker tickling Goody's leg. It sent her bouncing off the table, and the remaining sausages swept down with her. The fat baby screamed with fright. Before long, Goody picked up the scattered sausages. One stuck out of the bread crock, two poised like dancers on the pot shelf, and three lolled on a chair. She didn't even miss the biggest king-size family sausage. It lay wedged behind a heavily tool chest. There it stayed, gathering dust and floor sweepings. Once, while rummaging in the chest, her jolly fat husband shoved it a little closer to the wall. Suddenly, the sausage squashed. Its skin began to split, and it gently changed its shape from very round until it was a little longer, a little thinner, and somewhat oozy. The meat smell wafting out from behind the tool chest teased the cat. But she could not squeeze into the space, and her legs were too short to haul the sausage out. She could only crouch behind the chest, staring and dreaming of a sausage dinner. The tantalizing smell grew richer and thicker and stronger every day. Goody's jolly fat husband soon complained, "There's a terrible pong in this house." "Yes, something is a bit off," Goody agreed, wrinkling her nose. Then they started the great pong hunt. They sniffed the baby. They sniffed the cat. They sniffed the stove. They sniffed in cupboards and corners. The stray sausage, now puce grey, bulging and smelly, sank further behind the chest. While the sausage lay in the gloom, grey mould with long hairy whiskers sprouted from its skin. Gradually the whiskers became powdered with dust. Then Goody began her spring cleaning. She whacked the mats. She washed the blankets. She aired the mattress and pummeled the pillows. She swept and scrubbed. Goody and her jolly fat husband both had to shove and push at the heavy tool chest, until suddenly it slid away from the wall. Goody shrieked. Her husband grabbed the broom. "Don't touch it!" Goody clutched his arm so that he couldn't strike the terrible, wild, grey, hairy thing lurking behind the chest. "It might attack!" she gasped. They backed away with thumping hearts, staring at the horrible thing in the shadows. It stared back. Clutching the fat baby, Goody crept to the bedroom without taking her eyes off the skulking thing that waited to strike. It didn't move. It didn't attack. The jolly fat husband hissed, "I'll get help." Carefully, the jolly fat husband shut the bedroom door. He tiptoed from the kitchen. Then he ran yelling to the neighbours. Goody locked the bedroom door. Her knees shook, but she stuffed a pillow along the bottom of the door, then pushed the bed against it. The fat baby bounced and chuckled in the middle of the eiderdown. Men clomped to the house. Goody squinted at them through the keyhole. In a solid mass, they milled about the kitchen door. They shuddered and gasped when they glimpsed the terrible, wild, grey, hairy thing behind the chest. Soon, Squire arrived with his gun. He shouldered his way through the crowd, shouting, "Where is it? Let me see." "Stand back, I'll shoot it dead." As his eye swept over the terrible, wild, grey, hairy thing, he was sure its tail flicked, while its mean, hooded eye glared at him. For a moment, Squire was unable to move. During that silent moment, a knobbly-kneed lad prodded it with his stick. The terrible, wild, grey, hairy thing rolled forward. Everyone fell back, stumbling and tripping and shoving. Every man heard a growl. Every man knew it was after him, spitting poison and hate. Squire recovered first. He had been in the army once. "Stay calm, men," he ordered, and planned an attack. "We'll flush out the enemy. Make a great noise. Ready, boys?" People whooped and shouted and bellowed. Pots clanged, feet stamped. Hands clapped. Sticks and boots and fists belted the walls of the house until cups and plates rattled on the shelves. Outraged, Goody shrieked, "Stop! Stop!" No one heard. The terrible, wild, grey, hairy thing crouched on the floor as if it were deaf. It didn't move. Not an eyelid blinked. Not a tail twitched. "Louder! Louder!" Squire urged. A black dog ran in and out between the men's legs. The Squire skipped aside to avoid it, bumping the jolly fat husband who clutched at him to keep his balance. They swayed, sidestepped, and slowly collapsed into an undignified heap. Hardly noticed, the dog ran on, up over the step, through the door, and across the floor. It attacked the terrible, wild, grey, hairy thing. Gobble, slurp, chew, gulp. The dog killed the thing and ate it. Ate it! Even Squire could hardly believe that he was gone. Even Squire could hardly believe that it was gone. "That dog's a hero," he announced, and set off another uproar. Goody rewarded the dog with the biggest, fattest sausage left on the rafters, and Squire gave it a medal on a leather collar. It was only a little dog, but very hungry. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story too. Good night.